What's going on YouTube? Rob-A here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Revoltech Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michelangelo. This is the final figure of the Revoltech Turtles to be released, currently, at least. And as you can see, it's Mikey. He's looking like he's loving him some fun. And, well, it looks like he's trying to gouge his own eyeball out, but that's neither here nor there. So he's got a bunch of accessories going on here. You can see he's got an alternate face with kind of a closed eye, very happy-go-lucky expression. He comes with parts to make a spinning nunchaku going on there. And, of course, he comes with his regular chucks, which are kind of falling all over the place in the packaging. But very excited to see that he does come with both pair of the nunchucks, because on the packaging and all the promotional material that we've seen, all of the pictures have only shown just one pair and then this thing. So I was kind of concerned. Even when I saw him at Comic-Con on display, he had this thing and just one of these, and didn't have everything in there. But he looks really cool. Looks like a lot of fun. He's a little bit shorter than all the others, which is pretty great. He comes with a little street sign to kind of pose him on. And yeah, show some of the posability on the back, as well as the eye movement feature, which it doesn't really explain all that terribly well, but that's okay. And here he is with the rest of the turtles, but you'll see that close up very soon. So I'm just going to go ahead, get this guy open, and we will check him out in just a moment. Alright guys, so here is Revoltech Michelangelo, or Michelangelo. No, it's Michelangelo. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And he is adorable. Unfortunately, he is also, in my opinion, the weakest of the four figures. And I'll get into that, very shortly. But first of all, he does come with a bunch of accessories. So you get Mikey, you get 2 sets of the nunchucks, which is awesome. You get the alternate head, of course, which I think is the only alternate head out of any of them that I might actually use. Just because it does fit his personality pretty well, and it's just really cute. He's just got the closed eyes and the big grin. Yeah. So very cool, and you just plug the bandana into the back here, and just plug this onto his neck, just like you do all the others. So you get that alternate head. That's how it looks. He also comes with this stand, the usual New York City sewer manhole cover stand that the others also come with, and this really nice, really tall street sign as well. It just says one way, both ways, and there's another little thing here. You just plug that in, and it's got a Revoltech joint at the top, so you can use it to pose, Mikey jump in or flip in or whatever, just using this little peg hole in the back of his shell. So really cool. You also get this this nunchuck, which has this kind of spinning effect part here. So it's basically just the handle with a Revoltech joint, and it's got this that you can kind of turn and rotate however you like. So that's pretty cool. But that is part of where my frustration lies with this figure. And you can tell just by looking at this handle, there is no peg on this handle for Mikey's wrist, and that is because, or his palm, that's because there aren't any on any of these things. So he does not have any holes to plug these weapons into, and that is really annoying, especially considering he's got probably the thinnest handles on any of the weapons of the 4 turtles. I'll get into that a little more in just a bit, but we'll go over what articulation he does have. He's got some nice double jointed head and neck articulation from the Revoltech joints there. So that's pretty cool. You get all kinds of like weird, hey, you get all kinds of good stuff there. Here's another kind of annoying thing, and it may just be on mine, but I have a real hard time getting the whiteout effect on his eyes. You see there, he's still got the blue sticking out there. And normally it works best on this side, but even on this side, he still has, well, I guess it may be loosening up, but he's still got a bit of blue over here. And it's not terrible, but it's enough to notice. But he's also still got the silly smile, so kind of, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that's okay. We'll leave that. But since it is Michelangelo, he does look okay with just the, just the blue eyes coming out while everyone else has got their serious face on. He does have the ab crunch that the others do. He's got a very thick belt, so it is very noticeable when he's ab crunching, especially from the back. You get this big seam coming out here. And he does have a belt that will hold his weapons. However, it's really kind of stressful to get them in there because it's all hard plastic. It's not like soft. And you want to put these in, but you have to kind of force them in a little bit. By a little bit, I mean kind of a lot. So you got to force that one side in, and it's going to just slip right through. So while that one's kind of in, you got to force the other side in. So it will hold them, but they can just fall right out. So that is kind of a bummer, I have to say. It would have been nice to have just, maybe a small separation in there just to keep these in. Excuse me. Yeah. So pretty much all of his problems stem around these weapons, which is a shame because I love these weapons. They have the nice little chain on there, and they look really nicely done. But they just weren't, I guess, thought out quite well enough. So he's got his hands, and he can put this thing in there, and just close the thumb around, twist the thumb a little bit so it can kind of close around that, and then close the fingers, but they don't quite, the fingers, because of the joints, don't quite close all the way, so he's just going to hold it loosely. He's not going to hold it tightly because it's such a thin stem for the handle. So he will only hold his weapons rather loosely, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just kind of a bummer that's kind of what we wound up with, and especially since this was the last guy that I opened, to have it kind of end on a little bit of a disappointing note, which is a shame because I love the character. I love the sculpt that they gave him. I think he's got a lot of life in him. He looks great. He's got all the the usual articulation. He's got the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the swivels, the legs are decently articulated. Just limited by the Revoltech joints, which can be a little tiresome to try and work with. There you go. But you can get a lot of the stuff out of there. He's got the knees, the feet are on the not the ball joints, but the Revoltech kind of rotation ball joint-esque things. Yeah, so it's really just the weapons that are kind of like a bummer, unfortunately, and it really does detract from an otherwise awesome figure, in my opinion. But I mean, overall, I do like him still. I just feel that there's not a whole lot of posing that can be done without him dropping stuff. So you can try and get things like between his fingers, like that. I know he does that in he did it in the old cartoons and stuff, but like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just tough, but so that is a bummer on what is otherwise a pretty cool figure. So I mean, hopefully hopefully this won't, detract too much from your enjoyment of it. But it is kind of a bummer, There we go. So I'll at least hold it there, and then get him to hold it here as well, maybe. So there is Mikey holding his weapons very, very loosely. And now, quick size comparison. So here's Michelangelo. Here is Donatello. Go. Leonardo. And of course, Raphael. So there are your Revoltech Ninja Turtles. And I have to say, overall, I really do like them a lot. I think they're well worth it. I just wish they had put a little thought and time into Mikey's weapons, because they do end up being kind of a bummer, him being the only one without a peg to fit them into his palm. So hopefully they'll come up with a solution, maybe come out with a version 2 that has those. And if that's the case, I hope they will think about those of us that purchased the first versions. But yeah, overall, really cool set of figures. I'm very fond of them. They pose really, really nicely, as you can see. They're going to look awesome on my shelf together. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. I want to thank you so very much for watching, as always. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.